we got this spawn over here. This is one side you could spawn on, the other one's over here. So, what many people are going to do typically is a lot of the lines are going to go this way, line up around here, because this point of the map is very important. Because if you control this point and you get to mid, and you control this middle island here, you pretty much control the whole game. So that's what these lines are going to do. Some lines might actually come over here and, go over here and try to win off midpoint and then circle back around here. But for now, we're just going to be focusing on this spawn and how you guys can play here because it's the most efficient way to win around effectively and get the most kills. So, yeah. This is your typical right side of the map. If you're spawning in, we'll just call it blue spawn. We'll call that red spawn. So this is blue spawn over here. It really depends on your line size, but most lines would actually kind of swing out here and then make it to this hill, or it's really this hill by the boat here. I know some smaller lines like to chill in the back and let their bigger lines push up, but so that's one way you could start leading. I mean, it's all about positioning. So sometimes if there's a lot of people going this way, like if there's multiple lines pushing out this way, then some lines might try to wrap around like this and get to this island, and there's a little pit over there that you can crouch in and fire this way. But yeah, so most of the lines are going to chill at this hill here. So I guess you could use this for offense or defense, just so you know. Like, if you're new to the map or whatnot, most people are going to chill around this vicinity. And then this hill here is basically the main contention point. You'll see a bunch of lines trying to, there's a line down there on that side coming from that spawn. Lines might move up from this hill and move up to this hill, and there'll be some conflict up here, fighting up there. But really on this map, you just don't want to make too rash decisions. You don't want to rush this hill right off the bat, unless you're in a big group, because there's probably a line waiting down there in the river, and they can probably shoot up and get you pretty easily. But yeah, what I like to do on this map with any line size, I usually lead smaller lines, so I usually like to go up here and chill here, because I'll let the team push up to mid, or I will let the team wrap around here. So once the team has the midfield, like here, I would then push up here, and then we could slowly make our way to the enemy spawn, and then wrap around once we force the enemy team over this way. So basically, in any Holdfast map, if you control the outsides and the important mid spots, then you pretty much control the game. So again, the basics of this is just wrapping around here, pushing your enemy this way, and then you can loop around their spawn, which is back here, and then get them from over here. And we'll look at that more in depth on the back. So here's the right side of the map. So, you have, 5 islands here? 1, 6, 2, we'll just label this, we'll label this 1, and we'll give this 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then this will be the mainland, so we'll just call it M. So you're coming from spawn, you're coming from this way, and by this point, if you're right here, the enemy's not going to get there. They'll probably be like around there. So that's like, you basically get to the hill at the same spot. I think the developers made that map pretty well, so it's pretty well balanced. So if I was coming here from this spawn, I would disregard 5 and disregard 6. You don't need to stop at these. You only need to stop at these if you want to retreat. So you're coming up here. You stop. I would stop at hill 4. I usually like to stand over here or crouch over here because there's this little hill, like within the hill. If you could see that shadow kind of right there, you can put a line down right there, stand on it, and fire without your full body peeking out, and that shoots on top of hill here on hill 2. Um, what a lot of the bigger lines would push up this way. And there's a ditch right here, like I said before. And then from there, they'd probably make their way around to spawn. Also, bigger lines would chill around here, the boat area, because you can fire from the boat up on the hill, and then you can go to the boat from there. Some lines might actually go from mainland and go to Island 1 here and shoot from there, because you have a nice angle from on top of the hill here. If you rotate like that, but that exposes you from the middle, so that's why I don't really like going there. But yeah, so the safest option I would say is to go for 4, because it's kind of the midpoint of the midpoint, because it's like if you get 4, you get 3, you have a good shot at getting 2. So play patient around here, and it'll probably work out. This screenshot I think is helpful because you kind of see the enemy spawn over here. Actually, let me make that a different color. So enemy spawns over here, or your spawn, I guess. I'll probably do another video on how to attack from this side. But, so that's the enemy spawn, so I'll just label that ES for enemy spawn. This is mainland. If you're coming onto, let's say you're coming to Island 1 here. Don't worry about this island, just scratch that out because no one really uses it unless your team forces the enemy out that way. So a lot of the fighting, like I said before, is going to happen around that spot, Island 2. We sometimes call this Godhill, because if you take this, basically you control the game. What a lot of the enemy will do is they'll actually hide down here, because there's a nice crevice below the hill, so anywhere around here they'll probably hold down. Typically this side wouldn't really push up because less of a slope, and here it's more of a slope, so it's harder to press up, and then if you don't make it here in time, you kind of just get slaughtered if your team, which is in blue, makes it from here to the top, because from the top you can just shoot down. So really this spawn over here is just gonna more the defensive side. They'll try to pick you off like once you get to this hill. That's why I like holding here a lot, because you see that little divot like from the water to the dirt over here. And then you can pick lines up from here, but you really wouldn't push up that far unless your whole team is pushing up. So that's why this is probably one of my favorite spots over by this rock, because like I said before, there's this little hill here. I think it's right here. You can put a line down here and you can shoot on top of the hill or shoot through here. So that's one of my favorite spots to go. Now once you have, let's say you've taken the island, which is very likely because usually this side does take the island most of the time. Like I said, I think it's a well-designed map, so it really could go both ways, but I would say good 55% of the time this side will, over here, will take that spawn. So, let's say you have the spawn, or not spawn, sorry, the hill. Let's say you take the hill, and, go get a line over here, line over here, line over here, line over here. I don't know why you would have a line over here, but let's say you do. Take the hill. Your enemies are definitely going to move this way. They're going to be retreating this way and swinging to this side of the map. So what you want to do is you want to kind of, we call it a lot of ring around the rosy, because it happens a lot. So you just chase them around the map kind of, but use hills, because there's a lot of hills in here that are like little crevices. Just make sure you're pushing up with the team, though. You don't want to push up by yourselves. So let's say you take this island, you got this island, you got these islands, and your enemy team's pushing back to this way. You want to follow them and kind of try to corner them. First, take out their artillery, which is probably going to be in their spawns. If they have rockets, the rockets are probably going to be somewhere around here, I would say. Cannon, I think, would probably just be around their spawn or somewhere in front of that. Howitzer definitely going to be like here. I know some people like to play in that divot a little bit for artillery. So you'll force the artillery out if you take these hills. So this is why this hill is very important. I know that was a lot of talking, but if you guys have any questions, please let me know in the comments. I know this is a lot to look at, but if you need to slow down the video, go for it. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Sorry I haven't uploaded in a while, but yeah, I'll see you guys.